Twitchers are flocking to Geraldton in Western Australia after the sighting of a rare bird. The black-headed gull hasn't been seen before in this part of the country. It's believed this one may have been knocked off course by a storm. Tegan Douglas is one of those who travelled to Geraldton to catch a glimpse, and Tegan Douglas is with me now. Welcome. Good afternoon to you, Tegan.
Good afternoon, Catherine. How are you?
I'm good. Do I spy bird earrings there?
Look, any opportunity really to get a bit of extra bird awareness out there, of course.
So tell me, Tegan, how far did you travel to see this bird?
So myself and a friend drove up from Perth for the day up to Geraldton, so it's about an 800-kilometre round trip.
Whoa. Okay, so you've got to be pretty excited about a bird of this nature to travel that far. Why is it such an exciting bird? Why the appetite to see it?
Well, the black-headed gull, there's less than a dozen records of it turning up in Australia, and this is only the second one in Western Australia and the first one that's so far south. And as you can see from the pictures, it is actually quite a pretty looking bird. We underestimate how pretty and just stunning our regular plain old silver gulls are, and sometimes it just takes a new bird flying in with its fancy plumage to show us exactly how stunning some of our birds are.
And so how did it end up here? I mean, I'm reading reports that it might have been knocked off course by a storm. Where does it usually live and migrate to?
So this is a bird that is, despite it being an absolute rarity here in Australia, it's a bird that is ridiculously common in Europe and also in Northern Asia. And they tend to make, outside the breeding season, they make their way to the southern part of mainland Asia. So they're really reasonably common through India and through Malaysia and whatnot. But them getting further south through past Indonesia to Australia is ridiculously uncommon.
Okay, how is it assimilating with the others?
Well, as you can see from the footage, I hate to use the adage, but it just looks like birds are flocking together. It's just sitting in amongst the regular silver gulls, our everyday seagulls. It's feeding with them. It's doing what they do. It's doing the cheeky thing like feeding on hot chips, and as well as sort of mooching around the beaches and finding its own food. It's just fitted in with the locals like you wouldn't believe.
It wouldn't be a seagull if it wasn't nicking everyone's chips on the beach, would it? What does it mean for it now? I mean, is there any chance that it goes back to its original flock, or is it now here for good?
Well, that's the question that every birdwatcher, every twitcher has in their mind. Are they going to have an opportunity to see it while it's here? Is it going to hang around for a while, or is it going to disappear back? Look, this bird is a long way from home. Like I said, the rest of its species are probably around mainland Asia at the moment. It's given the fact how nicely it seems to be making friends with our local silver gulls, I suspect that all things going well, it might actually be here for a little while.
Okay, and that, I presume that would be quite exciting for the twitching cohort?
Oh, I think so. And for everybody in general, we see birds every day. They're all around us all the time. Sometimes they're the first things we hear in the morning when we wake up. We see them as we walk our dogs or drop our kids off at school or head to work. So it's just being able to see something a little bit unusual. I think it was one of the really heartening things was even seeing like us mad keen bird watchers, we're going to try and find any excuse to head somewhere to see something different. But seeing just Geraldton locals stop and appreciate this bird, it did help that it was sitting on the delightful Geraldton foreshore, surrounded by people walking to cafes and sitting on the grass and just doing regular Sunday things. And here was this really unusual bird that people got to have a really up close look at.
Yeah, a really lovely story indeed. Tegan, really appreciate you joining me.
No problem. You're welcome.
Tegan Douglas there.